just start recording. Oh, you didn't do it today.
Make sure you do your final checks, please.
Fucking, like, honest to God, when I did the Military Man one, it did the same thing it did with you. But I noticed it after like 6 minutes. What happens is it just mutes the desktop audio. I don't know why. I don't know why it does this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind of a Madness podcast with myself and Sean. There he is.
Hello there. Hello.
Welcome back, guys. We are on episode. Can you believe it's episode 70?
Episode 70. My God.
We've been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah, just trust episode 69 to go a bit wrong.
Yeah, of course. My favourite number.
Of course, that goes a bit wrong.
Yeah.
But 70, we're back in the clear now.
Yes, we're back in the clear. Everything is working again. Apologies for that. For whatever reason, I didn't notice it at the time. OBS basically just muted the desktop audio when I started recording. No clue why. But yeah, here we are.
These things happen.
Yes, but of course, Sean very kindly wrote up all of his thoughts and put them in the description. So if you want to check those out, they are there.
Yeah, have a little read, and then you can catch up on the general. I'll go over like one or two things maybe this week.
Yeah, maybe a couple
perhaps
of things
were important. And But yeah, it's behind us.
It is.
So
yes.
How are you doing this week anyway? In the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. Doing pretty good. Back into the swing of things now. Of course, we got a little bonus podcast that's going to be coming out next week. So, that I did on Monday. So that was cool. Been going out, hanging out with people and stuff, and you know, keeping myself busy, I think, has been the main thing. Had a little bit more therapy. Had a little bit of that mind love. So
wallet hate, mind love.
Yeah. Mind of a madness, because we don't choose madness here.
Happiness is dead.
But I'm doing pretty good. I'm in a really good place right now, and hopefully that will continue for the foreseeable future. If not, fuck it.
Square one.
Back to square one. Yeah. But no, it's been all right. How about yourself? What have you been up to? What's life been throwing at you?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been meeting up with some friends as well. I've been to the cinema more times in the past 2 weeks than I have in like the past year. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's good. I'm in a good place too. Good. I'm just trying to sort out some stuff with bank accounts and stuff, and doing admin shit, things that you put off and then just do one day because you feel like it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
You feel ready to.
But yeah, things are going well. Everyone's quite well in the family, so just got to carry on and keep positive.
Yeah. Choose that mind of your madness.
You like saying a little slogan today?
I know. I like a little slogan today. I don't know why. I'm in that mood, man. I'm in that mood.
Well, we're obviously gagging to get started, so shall we move into our first section, the news?
We shall. Yes. Let's do it.
So obviously, Joe Biden has almost concluded his Ireland trip. I'm not sure why I wrote this down because I don't have anything to say about it. But yes,
yeah. Joe Biden visited Ireland.
Great success.
Great success. He got barked up by a dog.
Lots of media outlets are kind of picking up on his kind of slowness and his age and his blunders and stuff like that. But
yeah.
And then apparently there's this whole thing about him being anti-British and something. I don't even know what it's about.
What? I knew there was like
I'm pretty sure he's anti-Russian.
I'm pretty like I'm fairly certain I saw like something like some stupid headline or something whatever being like controversy around Biden's visit to Ireland. But all I've seen is like, at least again, there might be some controversy, but I'm not aware. I've just seen positive stuff about it. Apart from maybe I think it was the Prime Minister in Ireland. His dog barked at Biden. I mean, we're talking about controversy. A dog barks at you.
If he ever meets these two, I think his hearing aid might just explode.
What hearing? I mean, I like Biden, but man is probably at his peak now. He needs to.
Yeah, he needs to wind it down, but
Yeah.
I think.
Fair play.
Well, speaking of other candidates, I think Trump has, got like several felonies he's being on trial for now.
Yeah, he got arrested in New York recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was actually arrested, obviously. I'm doubtful that any charges are going to come down on him.
No.
But, I mean...
If anything, his supporters will love this one.
Oh, yeah, well, they'll use it as an excuse to fucking...
Yeah.
Probably try another coup.
Fake news, folks. Fake charges, folks.
Yeah, fake news. But, yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, he is a criminal. He has done many crimes, and I think it was proven that I can't remember what the guy's name was, but the guy that handled his funding for his campaign obviously paid off what was her name, the porn star, I can't remember her name, but she obviously got massive lump sum. That was actually found to be the case, like the guy had actually paid her for that. So I mean, you don't just pay someone like 116 grand for no reason.
Like Prince Andrew does.
I mean, Mr. Beast does. Mr. Breast, he does it. But, I mean, yeah, it's
my money.
It's one of those things. I think that I think everyone knows that he's obviously like clearly he incited what happened and everything.
I just want to kind of sweep it under the carpet and get it over with.
Yeah, and I think
shelling out large amounts of cash, then so be it. Because that's like a drop in the water to them.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's probably what's going to happen to him is he probably won't see any jail time, but he'll probably have to pay like a massive fine or something stupid. I mean, he's got no money as far as I'm aware. He's pretty skint. Like compared to like kind of what people think his net worth is, right? So people think he's a millionaire and stuff, but apparently he's gone into bankruptcy multiple times. Like he's not good with his money. He only had a small loan of $1 million, guys. Come on, like what is he meant to? How is he meant to grow that? It's crazy.
Something tells me he'll pull through.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean that's the
stateside news.
Yeah. It's kind of crap. Hopefully you Americans will get some justice soon, because you deserve it.
Moving on to the problems in this country.
Fuck me, there's loads.
We've got lots of strikes happening still, like the nurses' strikes are still like ongoing.
Yeah.
Lots of unions and dentists, just like everyone.
Everyone's just saying, fuck off, we're not doing your job anymore.
With the higher cost of living, like I think I read on the news the other day that's a junior doctor was like, she just like quit and worked at Aldi to get more money per hour. It was like, okay.
Because that's what you want to hear, right? People that are saving lives have to go and work in Aldi. Like, great.
Which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just like but it should be paid what they're I don't know.
It's not an attack on her for going to work in Aldi. It's like clearly something isn't right here.
It's like a mismatch of skills, an imbalance. She's obviously destined for saving lives rather than being at the checkout. But yeah, whatever. So that's good. It's going to cause more disruption and things like that. But I think we'll just all have to plow through it, and just don't get ill. Don't get ill. Don't have issues with your teeth. Don't have issues with your pets or anything like that, because. Yeah, the waiting lists will be quite huge.
Yeah, just deal with it. Like if you're ill or whatever. But I think this is kind of this country is in disarray. Like I've said it 100 times since we've been doing this fucking podcast, and we've only done 70 episodes, so I mean that's impressive in itself. But this country is shit. Like it has gone to crap. Like I mean, we are very lucky we do get free healthcare, but I mean, at this point, is it even healthcare? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the NHS. I'm very grateful that we have it. Of course, it's saved my life more times than I can fucking count, but it's getting to a point now of where, like, it's going to go one way or the other. It's like they either need to start funding it, or we're going to lose it, and everyone's going to have to start paying for healthcare, which is what. Yeah. But
I think they are kind of encouraging people to pay for their own healthcare if they can afford it. Like at these times, it's like, oh well, because I know we have been struggling trying to find a dentist for quite some time. And we eventually found an NHS one recently and had a checkup. Oh good. It was like, oh yeah, we can take as many private patients as we want, but we can't take any more NHS ones. So obviously you have space to take on people, but you're choosing not to because you prefer private, which is makes business sense. But it's just one of those things. It's encouraging people to pay for it, and it's colossal fees when it comes to healthcare, which isn't propped up by the NHS. So
it's
a difficult one.
I don't know, man.
So I mean, yeah, hopefully we're all kind of staying away from hospitals and stuff like that for the time being, because it's going to be rough for the next few months.
Yeah, just keep healthy.
Just keep healthy. Just keep careful.
Little bit of exercise, little bit of a healthier diet.
If you want to go up a ladder to chop a tree down, try not to.
Just wear like a harness and just attach yourself to the house and stuff. Like, take a few extra precautions, to look after yourself.
If you're planning on mowing the lawn with an electric mower in the rain, just try and hold on to it.
I can't say this. I mean, there are some black clouds out there, but it's not like raining or anything. It's actually a really nice day.
Yeah, it was. It was nice earlier. Now it's kind of going a bit
overcast.
Oh well.
But
that's why I'm here with you.
That's why we do the podcast.
Yeah, we're making our own sunshine right here.
Talking about news. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think my mum obviously works as a cleaner in the NHS and stuff, so I kind of get some sort of idea from her perspective. I think like a lot of the lower down jobs have got like sort of pay increases and stuff that are coming in now, but I think like junior doctors and stuff are still having to fight, and I don't know, I find that ridiculous. I don't get it. Like, why? They're saving lives. Why the fuck do they need to fight for a bigger
people
pay?
what they're worth.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it wasn't for these people, a lot of other people would probably not be here now. So, pay them what they're worth. Like,
Exactly.
That's kind of my take on it. I'm just like, whatever.
That's quite right.
Yes. One story we can talk about if you want to.
Yep.
Nicola Sturgeon, her husband has been arrested.
Oh yeah, I think he was, and then it's kind of just come out that all charges were dropped. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, he hasn't had anything officially charged against him, but obviously there was a big investigation. She had like her front garden dug up, like her entire properties were all searched. Basically, her name has now been dragged through the mud. So for those of you who are not aware, her husband was basically, I believe, the finance supervisor or something for the SNP.
Of course he was.
Because of course he was, yeah. And it's funny, the SNP have been losing a lot of money over the last few years, and all of a sudden it comes out that it might not have been used or utilised properly. Like, it's been funneled back to like Nicola and her husband, or off to some rich arsehole somewhere else. So, yeah, not a great look, Nicola. Or as I like to call her, Jimmy Cranky.
And she resigned recently as well, so that's like it's amazing how all these things happen at the same time. She must have known that something was going to happen.
Well, I think there was an investigation into it while she was still First Minister of Scotland, and then suddenly the moment that she resigned, all of a sudden it like sped up, and they had like a load of evidence and a load of stuff to kind of go off to be like, hey, clearly you've not been using the funds properly. Funny that it's almost as if and this is just a passing thought, I'm not accusing anyone, but it's almost like she was halting the progress of it. A rich person, or like a high-up person in power doing something to abuse it? Never.
Power couple as well, it's all kept in the house.
I'm sure it was.
Under the bed.
I mean, I think they're still searching sort of her properties and stuff, and they're still trying to work out where, like, all of her bank accounts and everything, to see if anything's been stored anywhere that it shouldn't have been, and so on and so forth. So it's
we'll see. We'll follow that story, but as far as officially it goes, there's nothing too suspicious at the moment. But we'll see how it develops.
Yes, we shall keep our eyes on the story.
So some sad news, I guess. We heard about the script, and Mark Sheehan has sadly passed away. He was in his 40s, I think. You mentioned the other night. Very sad indeed. It's always another sad day.
always the good ones. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, we need to do like a little what they call, not memorial section or something, for people who passed away in the last 2 years. But sounds quite depressing, but
as a way to honour them. I mean, it is very sad. I think you see this a lot in kind of the music industry and stuff as well, which makes it sadder. I'm not too sure. I haven't really read into it a lot. I obviously saw the headline. Robin, thank you very much, sending both of us the link and stuff. So, but I haven't read too much into it. But I'm not too sure how or what he passed away of.
No, I think it was a short illness. That he said after a short illness.
So it's very sad. and obviously such a talented person to pass away like that, it's never fun. It's never good. So hopefully
it's like all these deaths have kind of affected all these different mediums in the past few weeks. Like people who respected Lance, people who respected Paul, people obviously respect this guy, Mark. And it's like, oh, music, movies. But I suppose, a person's a person and it should be honoured like that. It's sad that they pass away, of course, but everyone does. But some sooner than others. But
some too soon. And 46 is definitely way too soon. So of course, hopefully, I mean they're never going to see this, but hopefully the scripts are okay, and the rest of the family and everything. Of course, condolences. We always say it. It's
very
a sad time, but hopefully it'll get a little better as time goes on.
Well, he's not going to come back alive, is he?
Yeah, I mean, you deal with it. Like, Jesus.
No, you must be depressed.
God, I've had enough of that.
Right, we'll move on. Any more news things, good sir?
So I did have something that I wanted to talk about, which is kind of deepfakes and stuff. Obviously, we've brought up this topic before in the podcast and everything, but something interesting. One of the CEO and the founders of one of these deepfake kind of AI machines has actually come forward to copyright his own face and his own look, and even an AI generated version of his look. Due to obviously deepfakes and all these different sort of disgusting things that have been found out before. Of course, we've talked about the incident in the past of a Twitch streamer who was found to be getting deepfakes of people he shouldn't have been. And I mean, kind of, what do we think on that? Like the fact that AI is now at a point of where even a founder who has created this technology is now copywriting his face to make sure that it can't be used in sort of those areas. Do we think
it's like he's kind of jumping the gun? He must know something that's going to be happening in the future when it comes to AI. That people are going to have to copyright their own faces. So I mean, stupid.
It sounds silly, but I mean, it would help a lot of like Twitch streamers and famous even actors and stuff that have been deepfaked.
I feel like it wouldn't make much difference, like if you copyright things or not, because people just do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it would still happen. Yeah, I think that's the disgusting thing. But I guess it's that interesting part of having an actual legal stance on it, right?
Yeah.
So if this copyright goes through, if this copyright goes through, and he is legally allowed to copyright his look as an AI generated person,
you can press charges.
Yeah, you can actually prosecute people under the law, and I think there are a lot of deepfake porn websites and things that do need to be fucking shut down, that are disgusting and wrong. And I think this might be the start of maybe.
Give us some examples.
Well, it's like I said before. It's like that fucking. I can't remember what his goddamn name was, but he found to basically have paid for deepfakes of like his other fellow streamers and like.
Well, it's like porn stars.
Yeah, so essentially this website, it's been shut down now, but obviously there were thousands of them out there, of course there are. But this streamer, he basically alt-tabbed to switch his screen on stream, and he was caught obviously looking at deepfake websites and having had actually paid for it. And what was found out was on this website, essentially you paid a subscription and you could basically view everything, and what he was viewing was kind of his friends and his friends' girlfriends or fiancés in deepfake porn, which be fucking weird, just for one.
A little bit weird.
Two, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why? So yeah, he kind of got caught out. He apologized for it on stream and stuff, but the fact that he did it is just disgusting in its own right. There was one big streamer, Cutie Cinderella. She basically came forward to say that she was going to try and sue the guy that made the website because everything had. Again, bear in mind, deepfakes are not done with consent, right? These are images and pictures of someone that are fake. But it's still especially how far deepfake AI has come. It looks very real. Like, you can make something look very convincing. I think Sweet Anita, another big streamer, she came forward and sort of did a video talking about how it affects people's lives and stuff. And, how like her family might Google her and all of a sudden there's all these, explicit images that aren't her, but look very, very similar and identical. And it's hard to differentiate. If a streamer lost like stopped streaming and wanted to just go back to a normal job. Imagine someone finds that sort of stuff out there and it's not them, but
it's not fair, is it?
It can ruin your life. And an important part that Sweet Anita brought up as well, and as disgusting as this is to think about, deepfakes of children. That's a thing.
Yeah, there's lines that you should never cross.
Like, this is what happens when technology sort of grows. It's new, so everyone wants to try it. It's fun at first, and then you have this seedy underbelly of foulness.
I suppose stuff like this spawns from it originates from and I use the example of in Japan or whatever, and they use dolls and stuff of children to stop paedophiles by actually acting on their urges.
Fucking weird.
I feel like it's kind of born from that kind of thing. Is it better to look at this stuff without having a real person, the actual person there in it, or I don't even know, but it's.
I think that the problem is if anything that is made without consent is clearly a violation of that person's privacy and them as a person. If let's say someone talked to a deepfake AI and they were like, hey, I don't want to do porn and things, but I will give you permission to use my face if you pay me an X amount. There's consent. There is, a thing of, hey, I'm allowing you, right? But it's a lot of these female streamers, and I'm sure it happens to male streamers as well, but let's be real here. The majority of the victims are going to be female, right? And even the idea of someone sitting there and being willing to make child deepfakes, it's
no, that's entirely wrong.
Yeah, it's fucked. Like this is. I think the problem is as well is that the people that talk about this kind of stuff and they kind of touch on it, it's always very much kind of big people that are streamers and stuff, but don't have enough sort of movement to move the needle in regards to
there's not much legality around it.
No, there isn't.
It's kind of a new thing, isn't it?
Exactly, and I think that's kind of what there needs to be something. Yeah, I mean,
impersonating people.
I think that's kind of the closest thing you could probably get to it. Because technically you can't copyright your face.
But it's so much darker than that, though, isn't it? Because of the implications and consequences of what it can do.
Yeah, I mean, imagine. Yeah, again, this was a person that his friends and his colleagues trusted him. They never thought he was that kind of person, and
no, it never is.
Yeah, and that's the most disgusting thing about it all. I think
you don't hide in basements and wear dark clothes.
Yeah.
It's your next door neighbour who's watching your whole family in a porno.
Yeah, he was a big Twitch streamer earning a lot of money, and bruh,
a bit too cocky, didn't he?
It's just I don't know. It's really fucking I don't know. It makes my skin crawl to think about it. The idea of having your privacy breached like that. And especially as well, not having any control. It isn't like you're sending a nude to someone and then it's revenge porn. It's literally just something completely made up. But it still has the same level of impact on your life. Despite it being fake, it's still a problem. It's still that person's face. So, I mean, it's pretty gross. Hopefully something can be done about that. I think that kind of technology actually scares me. I don't tend to get scared of technology, but that shit actually, does worry me a bit. Probably a little bit too much, but
this is why you need a shit camera so people can't rip your face in.
And I just upgraded my fucking camera. Yeah. So I mean, that's great. I mean, who the fuck would deepfake this? Get out more. There's better than this.
You'd look great on Beauty and the Sexy Beast.
It'd be fucking hard to deepfake me with all my tattoos. Good luck.
Okay, just take the face.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I personally myself, I can't imagine how violating that feels to have that done to you.
That must be horrible.
I can't imagine, especially not having any control or power over it as well. You can't take it down. You can't stop someone from doing it.
There'll always be the question: is it real? Is it fake?
Yeah, and then you've got people questioning that shit. Oh no, I don't know. It's grim. It's disgusting. I don't like it.
That's why I like not being in the public eye.
Yeah, do you know what? That's why I like it. I like it's just us.
I like it when no one's watching and you can't hear me because my voice isn't recorded. So you can't deepfake my voice.
Oh fuck! Deepfakes of voices, man, have come so far. That's crazy as well.
Just
turn anyone's voice into something I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole big juicy topic, that one.
Yeah. Big, deep, fake, juicy.
Deep and juicy.
Yeah.
Time to move on. We're going into
Time to move on. Do we go to things watched or do we go to games and stuff?
We can go to games. I've not got too much here.
Oh shit! I haven't wrote anything down. Balls.
I know the PS Plus Extra and Premium games were announced.
Yes.
I think
It's actually fairly good.
Kenna Bridge of Spirits is a good one. One of the main ones this month. Riders Republic, which I'm quite happy about. I enjoyed Steep, and I was kind of looking to play this. It's a Ubisoft one, of course. It's going to go to the Premium.
Yeah.
An extra, and that's all I can remember.
I know that the ones for this month have just recently been announced as well. So
I know we've been playing one. Oh well, the essential one for this one.
Kenya Bridge of Spirits coming. Doom Eternal, Riders Republic, Wolfenstein 2, Slay the Spire, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom.
Classic Doom ones at Premium.
Oh yes, they did finally announce that, didn't they? They were bringing out all the classics, which is cool. The weird one that I found was odd. Sackboy: A Big Adventure's coming to Extra. You literally just put it on the Essentials. But I mean,
people are speculating that it was switched at the last minute for the Essentials, and that's
maybe.
I don't know. It's supposed to be something else. But
Dishonored.
I'm glad we got it because we've been playing the shit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that game has been a lot of fun.
It's dopamine the game.
Dopamine the game.
So many things to collect, shiny things, pretty
Shiny
sounds,
things that go
pretty shiny things, and pop and snap, crackle, and pop.
Fun times.
Yes, fun times.
Yes, it has been very fun to play that.
And nice for a game to be made in this country as well.
Yeah,
Actually be popular.
it was. Yeah, it was made. It was made in Sheffield.
Yeah, and has some familiar voices, Dawn French and the like.
Yes. It's very good.
But I was going to say Stephen Hawking then, Stephen Fry, but yeah, he was in Little Big Planet.
I don't recall his voice. I don't recall that. That's impressive. Yeah.
Defects.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that's been a fun game. I've still got to play a lot of it. I know you're very. Have you finished it now, or?
No, I'll probably finish it by at the end of the weekend. I'll probably have it done.
Yeah. And I've got a little bit more to do.
So yeah, it's just like just one more level.
And one more level.
Yeah.
And you get stuck with it.
And you get stuck. But yeah, it's been kind of a quiet week when it comes to games because I have been watching a fair bit.
Yeah, I've got a lot more for watching stuff, but yeah, I mean, as for gaming stuff, is there any kind of news that came out recently? I don't think there was anything major, except for Resident Evil 4, I guess.
The DLC for Horizon
is
coming out, or soon, or came out.
Yeah, I think that's coming out soon.
I don't know if Lance is in that, but
yes, I believe he is. I think he has a small part in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will be playing that just for that. There is one thing that I guess we can talk about, which was so Arcane Studios' new game Redfall. Obviously, that's now been pulled from PlayStation, so we're not getting it. But another thing is it's releasing at 30 frames. I mean, apparently this is a big deal. So the reason that it's a big deal is because obviously 4K and 1440p apparently it's only going to be running at 30 FPS. They're not going to actually have a performance mode for the game either, so you can't choose. That is apparently coming out later. But apparently people have kind of had enough of that kind of behaviour now. Like, obviously the next gen consoles are very powerful. They are very capable of playing games at 60 and sometimes 120. So why are companies not utilising this? I think is the question.
I think when things were obviously developed in the time of in the PS4 era when people didn't really care about frame rate and stuff like that, that they're kind of just catching up now, and then it depends on the game in my opinion. If there's not too much motion and stuff, like 30 frames is fine, like Life is Strange and whatever. But when it comes to Redfall, like a big action kind of I don't know. Is it a third person event?
No, it's a first person shooter that you basically go around like hunting like sort of vampires and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I recognise the theme of it.
Yeah, looks quite cool, but
yeah, it kind of needs 60 frames in this day and age. People aren't like accepting when everyone's getting new OLED TVs and things that kind of need to have that higher frame rate to look good. People aren't really going to stand for 30.
Yeah,
which is a shame because it's like, are we already reaching the limits of the technology of the current gen?
I don't think so.
Things are going 30 frames.
I personally don't think so at all. I think it's just a case of, because again, they've not denied that a performance mode is going to be available for the Xbox Series S and X, but what they've said is it's not coming out until later. So what a lot of people have pushed back on is, then why are you releasing the game if it's not finished? This is the big problem that these dumb companies seem to have now, is like, we're just going to release it even though it's not finished.
It must be worked on with an engine that was having trouble with like kind of frame rates and stuff, because I know the Arkham series and stuff like that, they always had trouble with and Gotham Knights, they like with the engine making it higher frame rate. So it's just one of those things which they need to kind of build better engines.
I think another big part of it as well is, it's sort of this thing of, I don't think people would have an issue with it if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, we've spent, especially consoles, right? PC gamers have been used to sort of higher frame rates for many, many, many years, right? That's just a given, right? PC is capable of that. With the PS4 and the Xbox One, a lot of people said that there should have been 60 frames available. Now, when the PS4 Pro came out, some games could push it to that. But it sounded like a jet engine, and you were worried that your room would blow up. Yeah. So with the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X, I don't think it's a case of people have a problem with 30 frames. I think it's just, why bother building these brand new consoles and all these new engines and all this new technology for these games to look so good, but run like ass?
Yeah, when we're going back 2 generations.
Yeah, it's like, it gets to a point. Yeah, and I think that's the thing as well, is like, it was, when people start playing with higher frame rates, in my opinion, is better than lower frame rates. That's just I prefer playing a smooth game rather than a game that looks incredible but I have to fucking blink every 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's so strange because when I was playing PS4 and I was swapping between 60 and 30, and you know, Battlefront 2 that was 60, and then just playing the 30 frames, it didn't even cross my mind. The frame rate of the games, but I don't know. There seemed to be a big focus on it when the PS5 launched. Yeah, and it's just kind of ingrained it on everyone.
Yeah. I think it's because it was the next gen consoles. I think Microsoft and Sony didn't help themselves either by hyping it up like, oh yeah, 60 frames, 120 frames, 8K, which is a joke in itself. But you know, all these different things, you're hyping it up. People are going to latch onto that stuff, and if you start not keeping to those, like, you know, sort of, I don't know, frame rates and technology and stuff, yeah, people are going to get fucking fed up. Like, one of the biggest arguments that I've had about buying like any new games isn't because of whatever controversy is around the game or whatever. It's because, what's the point? It looks like ass anyway. Yeah. It probably runs worse because like all the new games do. So
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went back and played Far Cry 5, because of that update just made me play it again, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, it was so nice. I'll be honest, I'm one of these petty people, right? I'll admit it. If I go back to a game that's 30 frames, it takes me like 4 hours to get used to the frame rate, right? I'll admit it. But if a game gets an update for 60 frames, I'm jumping straight back into it because it's a better experience. It just is. And again, I don't think it's a case of console people are being entitled. I think it's been a very unfair balancing act on games and consoles versus PC and stuff. So I think to have a little bit of common ground, and especially what doesn't make sense as well is Redfall is being made by Bethesda. Microsoft owns Bethesda, so they have all of their technology, they have all their consoles, they have all the behind the scenes knowledge. Why is it only running at 30 frames?
Yeah, so it's all the Fallouts and stuff, they rely on the Xbox kind of boosting them up, don't they? And they can't actually do it in engine 60 frames.
Yeah, exactly.
On consoles, so I can understand if they're using that engine.
But this is another thing as well.
Apparently, Deathloop.
To be honest, I wasn't a fan of Deathloop. It wasn't a bad game. Just I don't know. I couldn't get on with the repetitiveness of it. But yeah, I think another thing that annoyed people as well is when people... So there were obviously game testers and sort of reviewers that got to go and try out the game. And when they tried it out, 60 frames.
Yeah.
On consoles. What? Excuse me? like what? Why? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you allow reviewers to have that and then on release you're not releasing it? What? Why?
Like the previous generation, it was like kind of enough for people to get the resolution bump. But nowadays, we kind of just want the resolution a bit. We don't really care too much about the resolution.
Yeah.
We just want smooth gameplay.
Well, I mean, again, these are powerful consoles. They're not walks in the park. Christ, the PS5 is literally using liquid metal to cool it. like these are powerful machines. Like, utilize it for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's an argument to be made on both sides, I guess, of, you know, hey, it's just 30 frames, it's fine, whatever, 60 frames will come out. But I guess there is the thing of, are you going to keep releasing games that are unfinished? Is this going to keep being a habit now? Because I can't be bothered. I'll just go back to my old games.
I know Suicide Squad, that's been delayed, hasn't it?
That's now pushed back into next year.
You can guarantee that'll be 30 frames.
Oh, fuck. They better. I fucking hope not. That game already is going to tank. It's already hated because it's just, you know.
I know, probably a bit unfairly because it is a bit of a shame.
I don't know. But, I think the problem is that they have the store, you have the battle pass, you have like all these live service elements. You have to be online all the time. You can't play it offline. It's like
all these things that have just annoyed people over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
just
it's
kind of
like,
putting them all in one game.
The fuck, like Rocksteady made Batman the Arkham series. Like, what the fuck are they doing making this? Warner Bros, what are you doing? Like, I don't know.
What you doing, man? Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me out there. How about it? I don't know. It's just. Yeah, there's a really weird shift going on in the gaming industry, and I am, like, just convinced that it's only going to get worse. It's been getting worse for fucking years. There's just going to be a breaking point, but it's just when's that breaking point going to happen, and how bad will it be?
Yeah, there seems to be, like, a separation between the industry and the consumer, what the consumer wants and expects, and then what the industry's putting out.
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
But yeah. That's all I got for gaming.
Yeah, that is gaming.
Gaming is very short this week. However,
but that's okay. It makes way for the meaty film and TV section.
Yes.
Right. Would you like to start, good sir?
I can do. So, yeah, I watched through an anime called Overlord. Watched series 3 and 4. Very good. Enjoyed it a lot. 3's kind of meh. 3's not as good. It's kind of a lot more talking and stuff, but 4 was very much, it brought back kind of the comedy and the more action-based stuff. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. Very good time. Would highly recommend anime to people. I just clicked a button. Shit. There we go. What about you, good sir?
Well, I suppose I'll mention briefly a few little items from last week. Obviously, watched John Wick,
Yes.
Chapter 4, which is very good. Some of the best action sequences in the series so far, and yes, very enjoyable. Kind of
Stairs.
Twist, I suppose. Yeah, stairs.
Fucking hell.
So, kind of twist relating to whether there'll be any more John Wicks, but there's going to be spin-offs, and you mentioned the Continental and stuff like that.
The Continental obviously had its teaser drop.
Still haven't actually watched it. I need to watch that.
Looks interesting. It's not a lot given away, but it looks like it's going to be a very
just
young
shots of the Continental and people looking quite serious.
Yeah, it's very John Wick. Yeah, I think John Wick 5 is in talks now apparently because of how well John Wick 4 did. But
I think I would be interested to see the further hitmen and assassins and whatever that explored that were in the film.
Yeah, I would definitely say this much. Controversial opinion, maybe. Don't bring John Wick back. Just don't do it. Like,
I think enough is enough.
Like, he's a kick-ass character, and I love him. But like, maybe have him in spin-offs or stuff if they're like before the 4th film. Spoilers. But like, don't just fucking find some convoluted bullshit way of finding a way to. Oh no,
you don't want to turn him into Michael Myers and then
becoming
like a franchise of like never ending
Yeah.
There's no kind of sense of danger or anything.
I think it was a very good way, and it's rare that you get 4 films like that are just better and better and better and better to the point of where then you have a respectable send-off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, very good, very recommended.
John McClure.
And John McClure, and obviously Scream 6. Can't get away with not mentioning that audibly. Yes. I very much enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to watching it again, probably around April 25th when it comes out on digital.
Yes.
Yeah, much improved on the previous one, and you get to see more of the best bits of 5, kind of developed more in 6. It didn't really suffer from the loss of Neve. Well, not the loss of Neve. She's not dead. She just wasn't in.
She hasn't passed away. It's all good.
So yeah, I liked. Oh, get down! You're annoying me now. So yeah, on to films I've watched at the cinema recently. Most recent one was Pope's Exorcist, which was it was kind of one of those films which is kind of funny without really intentionally being funny, but it is a good kind of entertaining romp, I suppose. If you don't take it too seriously. If you take it seriously, then it's kind of your run-of-the-mill Exorcist film until the end, where it kind of goes a bit wacky and Evil Dead-y. But yeah, Gerard Butler is very good, and he pretty much carries the film. The possessed kid has some funny lines with the demon and stuff.
It's totally fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, I would recommend it. I'd give it a solid 5.5. Like, I'm not bullshitter with my review scores, but run of the mill film, but with a kind of a surprising and above average ending. With still some bits that don't make sense, but I think there's one bit where, like, obviously he's the Pope's exorcist. I mean, which exorcist isn't the Pope's exorcist? But the Pope is in it, and for some reason he starts like having heart attacks and puking blood, even though he's like thousands of miles away from this exorcism. Like, how should that affect you? Like, why are you taking the responsibility and all the attention from the main guy and puking blood for no reason?
Impressive.
Come on, Pope. Pipe down, Pope.
Stop trying to steal the limelight.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? Why are you convulsing like this? He's not even related to the exorcism itself. He read it in a book, and somehow he's been like minor possessed. No.
Jesus.
But yes, I also watched Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Fuck me, you really have been to the cinema.
It looks very good. It was pretty good. It's like, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I'm not like a Dungeons and Dragons like massive fan. I've never really played. I've played like games based on it and stuff, but haven't really got into it. But if you know the references and stuff, like, you will enjoy it a hell of a lot more, I think. And it's quite solid. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not anything like iconic, but it's funny. It's got Michelle Rodriguez, Chris Pine, Hugh Grant as well, who seems kind of. I thought he was going to be like just a bit of a cash grab, but he's quite funny in it. Michelle obviously plays herself, and Chris Pine, he's basically this kind of B-movie kind of perfect for him. But yeah, entertaining, some funny action sequences, and exhilarating in some parts. But overall, I felt like I would have enjoyed it if I was 14 a bit more.
Fair play.
Yeah. What else did I see? I can't remember.
So many cinema trips.
Oh my god.
Well,
I think I mentioned them.
Yeah.
Mentioned them all. But yeah, feel free to take the reins, good sir. Got a few more things.
I watched The Boy 2. Brahms.
The Boy 2?
Yeah, so do you remember the first one? So, kind of went off.
The woman from The Walking Dead in it.
Lauren Cohen was in the first one. The second one, no, she's not in. But it was all right. It was okay. Kind of the same tropes that you always have, but this time it was like all based around supernatural. So it wasn't actually based on like Brahms. Like, it was more like he has possessed the doll, and that's why it's being a dick. So it was all right. It was okay. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Just way too many kind of conveniences and kind of the same sort of jump scary things that everything does for. Nothing. Turns back, jump scare, like it's all the same shit, just a different film. But the acting was okay, not great, but it was fun for what it was.
Sequel.
Yeah, basically.
Sequel to a good horror film that they're always slightly disappointing.
One we can definitely talk about, Fringe.
Fringe, yes.
Fringe. We actually finished
completed Fringe.
Yeah, we completed Fringe.
All 100 episodes, a nice even 100.
Yeah, it was.
We almost missed one, but finally get it because it's weirdly placed. But yeah, what did you think of Fringe as a sci-fi romp?
I loved it. I'm surprised actually how much I did, because it's rare that I find a series that I legitimately get attached to. But Fringe was definitely on that level of very well written, very well acted, like just great chemistry between the cast, despite behind the scenes stuff. It was really, really good. I think it's a massive shame that they had to kind of rush season 5 because of obviously getting told that they couldn't have extra seasons and build all the stuff out. But I think for what they had and what they had to work with, they did a fantastic job of it.
Yeah, they finished it off quite well with the ending. There's not really many complaints.
Yeah.
I just love the character-driven series like that.
Yeah.
Where you can really get attached to them and kind of feel comfortable, but you always sense that things can shift at any.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Walter, of course, is iconic. One of my favorite characters in.
I do love Walter.
Oh,
puppy. Do you have an opinion on that?
Do you like Fringe, Lola? Do you like Fringe?
Fringe?
Do you like Fringe?
Yeah, it's very, very good. I definitely think it's a shame, because I would have liked to have seen a lot more kind of world building and of the final series and how it's all built out and stuff. But
it seemed like it was originally planned to be much larger in scope, but it was kind of with budget and time and episodes, they kind of had to make it kind of minimal, but you still get the gist.
Oh yeah, they did a fantastic job of the fact that they had to squeeze what essentially was 3 seasons into 13 episodes. They did a fucking good job. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would say that probably 3 is. I agreed with what you said before when we were chatting behind the scenes and stuff. Like, kind of people find that season 3 is probably the peak. But I wouldn't by any stretch of the imagination say 4 and 5. Like, seasons 4 and 5 were bad. Like, they're not. They're fucking amazing. But obviously, work with what you've got, and unfortunately, they were limited.
Yeah, it's the great thing about like rewatching it, because you kind of appreciate. I know when I rewatched it this time, I did appreciate season 4 a bit more than I have done in the past, because I found like some of the individual episodes were some of the best that we've seen.
Yeah.
But then the overarching plot probably wasn't as good as previous seasons. But yeah, season 3 is probably my favorite. With like you're fully introduced to the alternate universe, and there's all the kind of Folivia and infiltration at each side, and it's just like espionage. But
all my emotions are coming back now
you get it like stretches the boundaries of like other series. It's like sci-fi but still kind of slightly grounded, which I like. It's not like aliens and stuff talking to each other. It's like kind of based on science. But obviously, if you're a scientist, you're particularly horrified. But
I think it was done incredibly well. Great cast, great acting.
And very funny.
Yeah, very funny. They know how to break that tension up. Again, the writing for the show, even in season 5, phenomenal. Like, it was done such a good way.
How many times did you cry in the finale?
There were two main times, and then when it ended, it was weird. It was kind of like when we finished Lost, right? Like, we finished it, and then I was like, so yeah, it was. I think I cried at season 3 as well, the ending, when obviously they say goodbye to each other. I was kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
That was season 4, the kind of turning off the machine kind of thing. Yeah, that was sad. It's nice and cool, though, that they all got on in the end.
I was like, oh.
But Yeah, people who haven't watched it be like, what the fuck are they talking?
Go watch it. You were doing yourself a disservice. Disservice. It's on Now TV. Go watch. But
yeah, I always get sad at the end of Lost, but for some reason this time I think I've mentally prepared myself because
you did say
it was such kind of a sad thing when I first watched it and like the second time, but I think this is probably the third rewatch of it, so
yeah.
I was very prepared, although I didn't remember anything like of some episodes and stuff. But I remember the main bits. I was like, oh, okay. I know this is going to be sad, but I've accepted it, and the ending isn't. It's not like everyone dies or anything. It's just like it's a simple, simple thing. I won't fully spoil it.
Simple,
but
definitely go and watch it if you haven't.
A little bit of a reset. It's okay.
It's okay.
Everyone's kind of happy.
Definitely.
I watched a little bit of Chucky, the TV series. I'm on like episode 4 or something. Quite good. I think the best part is Chucky. I think they have like the original voice or one of the original voices for him doing it, which is very good. He's hilarious. But it's quite a young cast, and like it just kind of feel like a teenage drama mixed with Chucky at times, which is like, okay, it's a bit of a weird mix, but it kind of works, to be honest, because the young actors and actresses are very good in what they do, and obviously it has very recent modern themes and takes on things, which is good. And the Chucky doll it's not CGI or anything. Obviously there are some bits of CGI, but it looks kind of believable, and they've kind of gone the more animatronic route with it,
which is good.
I like it. So yeah, it's still gruesome, still kind of cool, and
still pain.
Chucky like. But yeah, for a sci-fi series or whatever, it kind of came a Hulu or something. It was surprisingly. I need to finish it though.
I mean, we can quickly chat about Person of Interest as well that we started watching.
Yeah,
we're only 4 episodes in, so we can't give our full opinions.
We can't, give our full opinions.
But goddamn the dynamic.
I know. So we just like really enjoyed this from the get-go, haven't we? It's just. I've heard about Person of Interest, and it's been on my radar. I know it's been on your watch list. And stuff like that.
I did put it on
but the thing that drew me to it was like obviously Michael Emerson.
Yeah.
And his acting in Lost and stuff, how much we enjoyed that, and I just thought, well, I mean, he's a main character player in this, so it must be good. And it's a kind of good mix of all the shows we've been watching, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like we've done this weird sort of cycle. We've gone from Lost, Lie to Me, Fringe, and now Person of Interest is like all 3.
Yeah, it's like all 3
and Reacher.
Mixed with like Reacher. Yeah.
It's definitely a fun one.
It's high budget, high excitement, high propane, 100 miles an hour for the moment. But I think that it's the season 1 syndrome a little bit at the moment, where it's kind of every episode has to be kind of very exciting. But I'm looking forward to when it's kind of slows down and we kind of get to really know these characters, because it's been very hinted at in the past 4 episodes. I have my reasons and all this kind of thing. Like we want to get to the bottom of those reasons. And we are getting the flashbacks and stuff, which is good, which is very Lost-like.
Yes, there's a lot. It's really good, actually. I have to admit.
Yeah.
It's very, very good, and I'm enjoying it.
And the dynamic between Michael Emerson and new guy who I wasn't too sure about.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was Jack at first from Lost. I was like, it kind of looks like identical to him, and then I was like, oh no, it's not.
That's why I think I went from watching Lost to kind of watching like 1 episode and like thinking, oh no, it's just a rip-off, I don't like it. But yeah, when I take it on its own merits, like fully immersed in it now, I'm like, I want to watch more every second.
I need more.
I'm gagging.
I'm gagging.
Oh. Obviously, there's another thing that Robin mentioned as well. Harry Potter series is coming out by HBO. So it's obviously being made and it's being planned and prepared, and J.K. Rowling is on board with it. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting one because they're kind of rehashing the original books.
I have an idea for these big companies. why not do something original and different?
I know, that's what I want.
For fuck's sake, why are you just remaking the books? What are you expecting to get? Do you think people are going to enjoy it? Of course not. I'm sorry.
Harry Potter is just so iconic, like the films and the books. Like, how can they even compete with that with a TV
I swear
series?
to God, whoever gets cast in this TV show, I feel so bad for, because it's not going to be their fault.
Scrutinized.
Yeah, it's not going to be their fault. They're just going to get shit on.
Even if they do a good job, it's like, oh well, they're not Daniel Radcliffe. So
they're not Daniel Radcliffe. They're
not like Harry Potter.
Rupert Grint. It's literally, that's how it's going to be, and it's like, how about this, JK? How about fuck off and do something new instead of leeching off of your fucking shit that you've had for years? How about that? Sound good?
Yeah. I don't know. Is she even like involved in kind of making this, or is it just the studios that are wanting it? And
well, she still has to get paid.
Yeah.
I think this is
it's
the
her
thing.
original idea.
You'd fucking think. I mean, I get it's like her original idea and stuff, but you'd think by now, after everything with Hogwarts Legacy, like studios would be avoiding her like the plague. But I mean, I don't know. If this was like a brand new Harry Potter story, like completely...
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah, like completely new start. Like, we talked about this. Have it be Harry and Hermione and...
Their kids.
Their kids, yeah. Like, just... Obviously, those two didn't end up together. But, like, you know, him and Ginny have their kids and show their journey through Hogwarts. Like, that could be interesting. You could make, like, a brand new thing out of it.
The stakes wouldn't be as high as in the films, but it'd still have the its fair share of drama and stuff.
Well, I mean, it could be. You could still, like, there's still ways you could keep the stakes up. Like, there are obviously still people that are going to be loyal to Voldemort, whether he's dead or not. But it's just that thing of like, nah, we're just going to keep rehashing the same shit. I think this is why we're enjoying watching stuff like Fringe and Lost and Person of Interest.
They push the boundaries.
Yeah, they were willing to fucking go, right, this is completely ludicrous, but...
Let's make it work.
Fuck it, let's make it and see if it works. Like, there's no risk taking anymore, and I think that's kind of why, like, especially with films, like you talking about the Exorcism film, right? Like, I was really excited to go and see it, but when I watched the trailer for it, all that came into my head was, this is just The Exorcist, just updated. Like, that's it. Like, it's like nobody wants to push that boundary or try something new anymore, and it sucks.
I'm all for like rinse and repeat with like horror slashes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is kind of what the audience kind of expects, but it needs to be in new and inventive ways as well.
Yeah.
So it needs to be that fine balance, doesn't it?
I also get that there's only so many ways you can do something, right? I get there are only so many ways you can do a slasher. So many
copying
ways. Yeah, but literally just copying the same shit.
Which is a massive success and has brought billions and millions and theme parks and merch and everything.
Yeah. Its own fucking like entire walking area in fucking London. I mean,
literally, people will visit this country just to see Harry Potter things.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Am I saying that the series, if they go through with this and it becomes a thing and they make it and it comes out, is it going to be shit? Probably not. I imagine the actors will probably be good. I imagine
it'll be high budget.
Yeah, I'm sure the script will be fine, but people are going to shit on it because it's the same thing, just different people, and you're not going to beat out the originals. It's as simple as that.
It's kind of a similar thing with the Last of Us series. Like, I enjoyed it, but it just felt like a complete. I've already treaded this territory before, so it's not having that full impact that it should have, really. But I mean, it's still very good series. But
you know what? I've had a bit more time to reflect on The Last of Us, and it's an interesting topic because after, like, obviously when we watched it, I stand by my statement of it's the best adaptation ever done from like for a game or anything like that. Like, it's still by far the best. But dear God, it has some major issues. Like, I've gone back through like parts and I've rewatched it, and I'm like, that's shit. I don't know why I liked that at the time. That like no, like
it's one of the things that I will probably never rewatch it because I already know the story.
I think like I probably wouldn't watch episode 7 again. Why would I need to see the Left Behind DLC again? Like, an entire episode.
Whole Kathleen thing. It's like, I appreciate they try to do things a little bit differently, but it just annoyed me like more than it should have.
Well, that's an interesting point as well, because when Kathleen like sees like obviously they're trapped, like Joel's in the tower trapped and stuff. Why is she just standing there?
I know, it's so kind of
like she's standing there for like literally 5 minutes talking. Yeah. Why not just like it's little things like that just kind of break that bit of immersion and whatever. And again, I appreciate the actress. She is a good actress.
Oh yeah, she's great in Yellow Jackets and stuff like that.
But
where she belongs, she suits being in that role.
She was okay as a bad guy essentially, but they're all bad guys. So I mean, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of holes that you can poke into. It's like Bill in episode 3 when he's just standing in the middle of the street shooting. There's so much cover. Why are you in the middle of the street? I know it looks like a cool shot, but what the fuck? Like, there's so many things that just don't click with me anymore. And dear God, as much as the ending was okay, fuck off with that ending. You just basically smushed one of the biggest and coolest sections you could have had into one episode.
The shortest episode.
Yeah, into the shortest one as well. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, I get it's a series, you can't, but it was just done, I don't know, poorly.
Why have the Bill episode like 80 minutes or however long it was, and then the finale 40 minutes?
Yeah. It's like, what the
fuck? Like, I'm all for kind of branching out a little bit and,
yeah, trying new things.
Yeah, trying new things.
No.
But
yeah, I liked
respect the original.
Yeah, I liked the added stuff. I liked the added lore that we got to learn, but some things just shouldn't have been where they were. Like the Bill episode would have been probably fine at 45 minutes, but have the finale be 80 minutes because it's a fucking big section that's this incredibly powerful moment, and you rush through it in 5 minutes. It's I don't know.
Looking back, I think probably the first episode was probably one of my favorites actually, because it kind of introduced some new things and it introduced you to the characters and stuff. And I really like that one. Yeah.
Also, I don't know how you feel about this, but obviously you learn why Ellie's immune. Her mother was bitten and then she gave birth, so she had a bit of a system. Would you have preferred not to know that? Because I kind of like the mystique of not knowing why Ellie's immune.
It did feel a bit shoehorned in just to get, the actress.
And that's something I have changed my opinion on, because I remember saying at the time that I actually really enjoyed that. I liked the fact that we got to learn that. But now I look back on it, I'm like...
It was nice in a fan service way, but
yeah,
I feel like people who had never watched it or played the games will be like, eh.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like wishy-washy.
I'm not. By the way, this is not me shitting on The Last of Us. I still stand by it. It's a fantastic series. I can still have my issues with it.
We criticize because we're passionate about it and we care about it.
Like, get that.
Obviously, there's like a million things we liked about it, but we just
of course
talk about some of the issues, which maybe it will improve.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing as well. It's like if you're just kissing the show's ass and you're just like, yeah, everything was great.
It's boring.
There's fuck all, like, there's nothing to improve on. Like, I mean, even with, like I said, with Fringe, my biggest thing with that, I wish they had more time. But that wasn't their fault. That was literally the studio shutting them down.
Yeah.
Lost.
But it's the same applied to me. If they had more time and they had just started getting into the character development side of things.
Fucks me off, that does. But, like, Lost as well, perfect example. There's some things in Lost where I'm like, okay, that's a bit dragged out. Not bad, just dragged out, and that's kind of the opposite of what The Last of Us had. Like, everything was so rushed. But I mean, again,
everyone has to see like the negatives in some of their favorite things as well.
And look, if you
that's the spice of life.
If you loved the series and you 100% loved everything about it, good for you. More power to you. Go and rewatch it and love every second.
Just know you are slightly blinded.
No. Our opinions are different, and that's fine. So but that's probably where I'd leave that. But I do want to rewatch it.
Don't piss off 5 fans.
Fans? You mean friends? Just what?
I don't need friends. I need fans.
But yeah, that's
I think that's everything I watched in the film.
Yeah, I think that's me as well. Dear God.
I think that's it in general. Then we don't have any interesting.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That stupid section which we should just get rid of.
I think it has gone, to be honest, at this point, isn't it? Like, I don't think the last time we did it. But yeah, no. I mean, do you have something to add, Lola?
Are you an interesting thing?
She is. She likes to bark a lot. I agree.
There we go. Right, yeah.
But yeah, so we'll catch you guys. Well, next week, guys, keep an eye out. We are going to have a bonus podcast. It's going to be coming out for you. It's going to be with Ex-Military Man. It's one that I was very lucky to get to do. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that.
I will enjoy that. We'll be tuning in for that one.
But the next podcast won't be recorded for about 3 weeks, give or take. That's because Sean is going away for a little bit. He's going to enjoy some time chilling and enjoying himself. And, maybe we'll do some snapshots or something. Maybe I'll do a snapshot episode or something just to tide people over. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But again, you got a bonus one next week. Don't be so greedy.
Yeah. You all in the loop.
Yeah. Again, thanks to everyone for watching. We hope you all enjoyed it. Again, thank you, Robin, for the suggestions that you threw at myself and Sean. Always appreciated. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.